Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out an album from an act named Niels H titled Orange Purple Skies. Switching over to here to YouTube Music, which I do not use enough. It's nice. It's got a really cool format. I like how you have the album art here. It's nice and big. You can make a full screen if you want to. That's dope. We're going to be listening to the first 6 tracks off of this record from start till finish, okay? So the first 6. So I'm assuming that's Better Alone, All You've Got, Let You Go, Orange Purple Skies, self-titled, Say My Name, and Turn Around. And we're going to listen to these from start till finish and hear what we think. Let's go. Oh! Sick. Got some kind of... What kind of genre is this? We got some kind of grungy, kind of rock, kind of Soundgarden kind of vibe from this. There's a nice bass resonance in this, and the guitar work and the drums are pretty punchy as well. Better Alone, number 1. This shift to this kind of funky, kind of clean section is smooth. Was not expecting this. Very distinct sort of segmentation going in here. I like it. Nothing at all. I like the range that this vocalist is singing in. It sits nicely on top of everything. Nothing at all. I'm assuming. Oh, no, we'll find out. We'll listen to it. The bass is so full in the mix. I really adore this. It's such a shame when there's a thin bass tone and there's just so much space, even when you've got the guitar side panned. The mixing's been done well here. There's like overdriven chords here. Oh, these interesting melodies. Nice little bit of fuzz on that fixed chain. I can no longer call you home. Back to that original. Oh, I'm liking that. No good, no good. I think that kind of harmony there. I like the placement of that melody on top of those chords. I like how the intro theme was actually the chorus. Very catchy kind of riff without being cheesy. It's kind of defiant. It's saying, I don't actually need you. That's what that riff tells me, and the vocals match it. They're a real kind of like 90s kind of vibe to this rock tone. These kind of funky kind of extended chords are welcome. It's a good shift from the chorus. I mean, like, we clearly know how to sort of create a groove and continue it. We're repeating these strumming patterns. The drums holding that to and there's the occasional 16th note. Oh no, there's not the occasional 16th note. Paying more attention, there's quite a few of those. Yeah, no, this guy can... No, never mind, this guy can really play. That drummer is tight as hell, man. Don't lose that drummer. Very good. Nice flams there. I dig the amount of space in this as well. They're not trying to stuff it all together, and they're not acting like the listener has sort of attention deficit. There's room for the listener to just kind of absorb that instrumentation. They're confident in the music itself, not just the message and the vocal performance. It's really good. There's like a low-end resonance to the snare, to the drums as well, which I really adore. You can tell this has been EQ'd carefully. Really impressive first impression. Oh, this interlude again is different. Individual ideas that are connected well. Oh, there's a juxtaposition between better off alone and kind of struggling to kind of keep things together. Oh. I'm very familiar with that kind of guitar tone. I like that. I really like that. It's a kind of fizzy, kind of full of sass kind of lead tone. Kind of like following the pentatonic or the blues scale. Oh, harmony. Bit of a phaser or a flanger on that. I'm liking how the different instruments are working together as well. You get a feeling that the band has great chemistry. Bridge? Or is this the chorus? I think I'm better off alone, I can no longer call you home. So effectively it's just saying, yo, nope, things are just done. It's been soiled. I am better off by myself. I don't need you as a part of my life. You know, that introspection has ended. Next steps in the other direction. That no good reinforcement in this over this riff is just, it gets it stuck in your head, the really important bits. There's some vibrato and sort of some little bits of ornamentation in there. There's a nice dynamic range to the vocals, and it's been caught well in the mix, you know. You know, when you do allow the singers to have dynamic range, sometimes it can get lost in the mix if you don't sort of carve out a place for it, but whoever was involved in producing this has done a good job. And the vocalist as well has got good technique, nice and strong where it matters. It also sounds authentic in their performance and projects the emotional content appropriately. The guitar and bass are stacked well as well. I really adore that. That was great. That was a great first track opening one to the album. You got all you got. Hey, a little bit quicker this time. Is this a similar guitar tone? Like, that bass tone, what are they recording that bass guitar through, man? That's a hell of an amp. I like how they're like leaving the verses a little bit more chilled out in comparison to these hooks and bridges and all that. I think it's good because there's more content in the verses typically. There's more stuff to absorb. If you have the guitar going hard at you at the same time as the vocalist is explaining more sort of truths to the story, it can be kind of difficult to follow everything depending on the situation. Oh? I'm liking this kind of funky kind of melody. I know funky is such, I've said that a few times. There's kind of a swagger to it, the way that the rhythm guitar is being played here. Is there one guitarist or two guitarists in this band? I'd say there's potentially one guitarist in the band. I can't hear another, but maybe there was overdubs in that previous solo, or like a harmonizer pedal or something. All right, cool. And staying at da 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 da. So kind of staying in that top range to lead the bass, obeying the rule of sort of fourth harmonies there, kind of in that mid highs. This is kind of like why when you're making music, you need to consider heavily the kind of vocalists you work with. Like if you do like rock and metal and stuff like that, for instance, you need to sort of be like, okay, I know that the bass is going to carve out the lows. I know the guitar is, you know, often drop tuned, especially in metal. So if you have a vocalist who's in that lower range, you need to either go super duper low with the guitars, or you need to find some way to accommodate them, whether through like progressive kind of cleaner stuff or some brighter notes or whatever. This is just the kind of stuff that Niels H, I think they've thought about, and it makes me happy to listen to it. It's very clever songwriting and instrumentation or orchestration. That was a catchy hook though. I like how she kept the same kind of range of notes throughout. Stood up well, sat on everything else really effectively. Bum, bum. And you've got the drums not just rolling with the bass, but you've also got it rolling with the guitar. Everything is just so tight. These accents are so punchy because of that. There's no sloppiness or anything like that. This is almost clinical, but it also sounds organic at the same time. So this is more about like wanting the person to sort of like give you their full attention, to kind of throw themselves at you. There's always interest between the parties and stuff like that, and just it's asking to actually act on it. Oh, are they in a relationship, or are they trying to figure out where to go next? Oh, oh. Should I take it slow? Is it time for me to go? Oh, okay. So they're not sure if they're committing to it. You don't want to sort of half-ass it, do you? Wow. This is. I like how forward it is. And we've got this kind of leady kind of riff on top as well. Kind of. Those hi-hat closes with the vocals and the space in the low end where that bass kind of bows out for just a bit is effective. Yeah, the bassist has got some chops. I was hearing that, but that's dope stuff. Like, these guys really know what they're doing. Oh, organ. That organ tone's interesting. Like, I don't know personally, I don't know whether or not I would have put that down like 0.25 dB, just so it's like a little bit down in the mix, but it also depends on, headphones lie to you, so it could just be these headphones. There's a lot more tension in this bit. This is kind of the conclusion, trying to figure out the answer after dancing around in it, and like the bridges and chorus bits, eh? Yeah, this is kind of like that question, like, seriously, this is the ultimatum. I'm either going or I'm staying. And it was nice to have the vocals in the center, to have the kind of lead guitar bit on the left. I'd say there probably would be two guitarists in here. I know I was talking about that before. I don't know, like when I'm listening to a band for the first time, I like to figure out what their approximate setup would be. Maybe one of the players is playing, like, singing and playing guitar or something like that. That was a dope little solo. It had a lot of attitude to it. There was some interesting notes played there. It was an interesting kind of harmony there, like a little bit dissonant, but not too much. It kind of exemplifies the tension created by the rest of the instrumental parts at this point of the song. And that's the end of it. 3 minutes. Didn't seem like it was just too short. Let you go. I'm enjoying these guys. Ooh, that's filthy. What a hell of a way to start a song, though. Let you go. It's right, cut into the chase. I love it. Well done with that. It's been 3 for 3, man. 3 strong cuts. Ooh. There's interesting elements here. Like, there are some kind of these kind of, like, there's bits of rock and sort of funk and like alt and like some grungy elements and some just filthy rock. There's all sorts of little bits of different genres within this track. I'm liking the range. I'm liking that we have these kind of shifts between these kind of heavier, kind of overdriven, distorted sections with these kind of cleaner, kind of almost sort of beautiful, arpeggiated verses. There's a flutter in that reverb, isn't there? How long can you wait for me? Cool, dope. And there's like a nice little bit of filter work on her, like not modulation. I mean, as in like it sounded like there was a high pass or something in there, like at 250 hertz or something, or like 500 hertz. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I think she's a really solid vocalist. Like she's obviously comfortable within that range. She's aware of what her range is. There's no notes that sound like she's sort of struggling. It sits. Yeah, they've picked a really great singer for this band, and she emotes so well. She knows how to put a little bit more kind of roughness in when it matters, but she also handles it in a way that sounds like it's healthy, and she's not sort of hurting herself when she does it. That sizzle is dope. Is this kind of like filtered bit with the high pass filter? I mean, like, is that kind of the outside perspective, someone talking to you about the person? And is this section the person that's being spoken about, actually sort of explaining the situation? It's so gentle. It's nice juxtaposition between the two bits, you know, like talking about complicated and then really it just sounds so angelic in that part. I love that wow, kind of like sort of almost paddish kind of thing going on. I assume that is a guitar effect. I've got you on my sides and I won't let you go. And there's kind of that reversed kind of sample going on there. Oh no, that was a reverse kind of guitar take, or was it like reverse reverb or whatever? Like to talk about just again how cool the chord progression is. There's nothing super crazy going on with the chord changes there. You got these power chords there, but because they're like got the 1/5 octave in them, and the bass is following along, and the drums are grooving to the rest of the instruments, it just allows the singer to do whatever she wants over it. You've got so many possibilities. You know, if you'd stuck kind of major or minor chords in there, you would have been limited, a little bit more limited in these sort of like harmonies you can integrate into it as a singer. I think as well, just having that one sort of not having any harmonized vocals in that bit is good because it allows you to sound like it's actually the person responding to it as opposed to a group. It's stuff like that. We've got a solo here. I wonder what kind of guitar they use to record these solos. It's got a nice sizzly tone, man. Got a good, nice texture to it. A lot of love was put into this production process, I think. Very passionate about what they're doing by the sounds of it. That kind of punk vibe from it as well. Although I hesitate with punk. Because punk is such a varied sort of genre, you know what I mean? Punky, kind of grungy, rocky kind of music, man. That double kick works pretty solid. I've just noticed that there's some really ferocious double kicking going on. I'm also liking that the drummer is always experienced enough to know not just to go utterly berserk on the double kick. Because if you do too much of it, it can be, especially when there's space in a mix, it can become more like about the drummer than anything else. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily a bad thing to focus on the drums in a mix. Like, for instance, I am a drummer. And if I'm drumming for a project, I like to do fills and stuff like that. But it's about give and take, you know? It's about balancing it out. kind of B and 4 and eighth note groove. And half, dun, dun, da, 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 dun. Repeating that rhythm there. That's the rhythm sequences. Oh, nice fade out there. Man, we're 3 through. We're 3 through. That's pretty insane. Orange, purple skies. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I'm loving this, man. This is good fun. It's got a peppy, kind of spunky, charismatic little riff going on here, isn't it? Each of these tracks are, like, unique. But, like, you get the feeling they were recorded in the same session with the same instruments. It was a nice, orally, like, cohesive kind of experience. Nice bit of wah work with that guitar there. Never find the way back home. These kind of these, how do I sort of say this? You know, when you go, ooh, I can't sing, dude. I wish I could sing, because then I could join along to it. You know, ooh, that part there, right? Just having that space in there to kind of introduce a change with the vocals is really smart. And there's a nice coloration to that harmony. And then you get to like the statement of it, and it kind of sums up, and then you repeat. And just it's just so easy for listeners to follow along to that. There's a bit of a sassy feel there. This is a little bit of an interesting one. I'm not quite sure I follow this, but I'll listen more. So she's like got her own world, and she's kind of like sort of stuck within it, and she, as far as you can see, she'll live there eternally, so she can't escape the kind of room she's in. What's this line? Okay, that's interesting. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Is she in a place where someone finds her that they will never escape? Is that like a no return kind of situation where you're just too far gone by the point you get there? Oh, that's a really interesting effect on those guitars. And I want kind of a talk box kind of thing. I'm gonna have to think about this one a little bit. I don't entirely get it, but I've gotten as much as I can out of the vocals at this point. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But I really liked how there was just that instrumental section with that talk box. It's kind of like her speaking to herself or something like that, or like, was that the real talk point of it? Just to have the guitar change, those signature kind of shifts is what I'm noticing about Niels H. They don't take for granted that their listeners will be satisfied with just one sort of musical idea per song. They really put the effort in to keep it fresh. I was surprised that they didn't put this like solo on the left or the right side like they did for the previous one, because I can understand why we've done the solo like this. And like, it's not like an issue with the mixing and mastering because I can hear both parts clearly. I'm wondering how they recorded this bit. But I think that was a really cool ending to it. It's nice to hear the self-titled. As far as I'm aware, it's a little bit different to the previous three. But in terms of like the subject matter of the lyrics. But yeah, I guess in context it's very, very engaging. I dig it. Maybe the orange purple skies is like kind of her like world and how she views things and how things are for her, and the complexities with her relationships are a part of that or something like that. Nice succinct kind of ending to that, finished on a hook. Cool. Really strong stuff from Niels H. Hell of a lot quicker, isn't it? This is the kind of more punk stuff that I've been keeping an eye out for. Getting kind of a rise against kind of vibe from this part. Say My Name is furious, man. It's full of passion. It's full of vigor. The drum work, the grooves, man, the rhythms, the guitar work. It's a raw kind of tonality to it. I got a lot of time for. Oh, I recommend you just walk away. That was a really sweet little harmony going with those double takes there. If you say my name, I'll look the other way. Oh, okay. Oh, so they're just disagreeing on stuff. They're not even seeing eye to eye anymore. They're just lost. Oh. So is this after Orange Purple Skies were like, you couldn't go home, and this is like, no, seriously, if you try to follow me, you're not gonna get back. Don't even try it with me. Dope. I like it. I like how they ended. It was very straightforward, that one. It was very straightforward, the lyrical content, telling the person to effectively keep your distance. Nothing you do is going to resolve this. I've moved on. I'm not interested in you. And I think that the way that the drums, the bass, the guitar was played kind of backed that up. It was a very good single. I would not be surprised if this was one of their singles. It was kind of a shift away from some of the cleaner kind of funky stuff in a few of the verses of the previous tracks, but I think it was welcome. It's good to have that variety. Turn Around. Last track for today. Hey, back to this kind of indie, old kind of rocket kind of riff. Oh. That kind of fourth harmony there was really slow. That again, that percussion work is just filthy in this. It's so ferocious and audacious. but still, there's these accents that work really well with the guitar and the bass. It's so well thought out. And you've got these kind of instrumental breaks as well to give you sort of time to digest what the lyrics are about. Consideration for the audience. Tell me I was lost and I'll... Give me one good reason and I'll turn around. Tell me what is lost can somehow be found. So is this lady... So this is like a sort of a natural sort of chronological progression, I suppose, throughout this album. You know, Better Alone, All You've Got, Let You Go. We'll finish this before I conclude, but I'm starting to get a vibe for this, I think. Interesting story. These kind of octave kind of double takes here are cool, how they fill up the headphones really well, the stereo spectrum. Sounds sort of mournful. So this is kind of explaining maybe why she feels the way she does about Say My Name. The music kind of sounds like it's trying to find an answer within itself. It doesn't truly resolve. Yeah, no, it didn't really resolve there at all, which I think is sort of works well with the content that the lyrics is providing, you know, like, because the vocalist doesn't feel like she's got a reason as well. The music and the lyrics reciprocate. It's all good. I mean, that's effectively my review of, like, because I do like these reviews. I review like the first 6 tracks, right? I'm very impressed with Orange Purple Skies by Niels H. I think that they are talented musicians who are obviously skilled in their craft. They've got a lot of potential to go places with the way that they make their music. It sounds nice and fresh. The production is proficient. It's nice and bright. Things sound really well glued together. There were occasionally sections where I wasn't super duper sure if the vocals were like exactly where they needed to be, but I know there's so many different elements in this that's very difficult to mix that. And especially because you need that dynamic range in a track, that was probably done on purpose. You need to really listen. And actually that's kind of a smart thing to do, is to kind of have the vocals just a little bit quiet, like enough so that you can hear it, but only if you really pay attention. It forces you to pay attention to what's going on. You know, making an album in this day and age is not especially easy to do, even like to do well, I mean. Like there's a lot of people that make albums. You know, they stick tracks together they've done over the last year or two, and you get a bit of a mix of you know, I think that, you know, what makes this album especially special is that you can just tell from the moment they walked into the recording studio that they were taking this seriously. They had been practicing these tracks for quite a while. They were all proficient on their instruments. They knew them well. They knew how to get the sound they wanted. They obviously picked the right people to get involved in the studio process, whether or not they recorded themselves or they went elsewhere. And they all got along. I know it sounds like a weird thing to say, but it sounds these guys, like everyone involved just really enjoys their work and their time together. And it's just, it came through in the recording. The attitude was so authentic and believable. You know, this was a well-recorded, well-produced album. I think that for these guys, Niels H, whoever's involved, I think that this will lead to some success for them, primarily because I think this is the best use of their resources They played their hearts out, and I think the material as well is stuff that a lot of people will be able to relate with to. You know, even when you're writing an album, you need to sort of think, hey, if I want to make this album and invest, my time and energy into this, I want, I presume, like, and I know the music, a lot of music is about writing stuff that you think is good and doing it for the passion, but if you're making an album, it's usually to sort of show it to people as well, you like your fans or whatever. I think that their fans will appreciate this because it sounds like there's a stylistic consistency throughout that seems very natural to them. And the subject matter, I think, again, as I said, a bit would, because relationships are complicated. Dealing with your own internal struggles, people can relate to that. Dealing with people who let you down and don't understand you in your world, that those are all sort of common tropes in life, but it's been handled maturely and without being cliched or cheesy. And I think that this music itself, there were a lot of different concepts in here that were tied together eloquently, and yeah, it just made sense. That's effectively my review of Orange Purple Skies. I think I've spoken about the singer, the guitars, the bass, drums, and I think there was even a comment I made about that sort of organ at that bit. It was probably fine. It's just the headphones. It's sometimes they have sort of weird resonances. It's very like, like they thought about the music to match the lyrics, and I'm assuming there was some stuff added in the post production process to kind of really sort of send it home what they wanted to sort of tell you about, and it's cool. I'm sure these guys will be a lot of fun to watch live. Hopefully they're able to do some live shows wherever they are. Hopefully there's some places opening up. But thank you for watching this review of Orange Purple Skies by Niels H. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Show them some love on their YouTube Music and various other social medias. Stay cool and stay safe. Remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever. With all the crazy stuff going on, catch your next review. Spider hands out.